G'day and welcome to Cuba to Rio. I'm Matt Scolle. Episode 4. We've really blitzed Cuba this week. We've covered over 3/5 of the entire coast, from the cobblestone streets of Trinidad at the top there to a squeaky swing chair here in Baracoa on the furthest, most easterly point of Cuba. And I'm genuinely proud of what I've put together this week in terms of how much I've learned editing the stuff that I've put together. So give it a listen. We're going to start where we left off on Australia Day last week when we were still in Trinidad in central Cuba. For the record, that was the sound of a mechanical trapiche. It's a crushing machine which they make sugarcane juice out of. Here in Cuba they call it guarapo. And we just had a ice-cold glass of it in Isnaga de Manaca, where there's a beautiful old tower that we're just about to visit. Headed up the Torre del Manaca. That's the third time I've tried to get that word right. And once you're up here, it's like a 60-metre tiered cake, this tower. And it's got a fantastic view of the mountains in which guerrilla warfare took place just near to Trinidad. It's got horses and sugarcane fields and this beautiful little town of Manaca that's with its terracotta roofs. And it's just a fantastic sunny day with big fat clouds, which I'm sure are going to rain on us later on. But we'll see. Alrighty. It's good to be here. And I've subsequently learnt that they were in fact Batista rebels that fought in those mountains around Trinidad there well into the 70s until they were crushed. And the only bit you need to know about this next bit that's coming up is that the 28th of January is a big deal in UNESCO-listed Trinidad and all over Cuba. But this 502-year-old town really sung on this particular morning. You may wonder what the hell is going on. It turns out those kids I happened to cross the other day weren't just your normal kids. They were part of this giant parade to celebrate the birthday of Jose Marti, who's considered here by the ruling party to be the foundational member of Cuba. So once I'm home, I will definitely give you a little bit more information about Jose Marti. But right now, I'm looking at about 800 children, all in rows, all in different uniforms, and with drums and twirling batons and everything. It's a great sight. And mind you, I have also had 5 hours sleep to capture this. I went to La Cuerva last night, and it sounds exactly like it is. It's a club in a cave, 2 giant caverns with 2 different kinds of music. The file's moving again, so I might as well get involved. I might briefly add that in Cuba, the way they have distributed the internet is they put Wi-Fi points in public parks, and you pay for an hour of the slowest internet you'll ever find. And in the mix of all this glorious colour and chaos are tourists with their heads buried in their phones. And it's sad to see Cuba where it is and Cuba where it's going, all in the one place. It's just amazing. This country is insane.
Yo quiero salir del mundo por la puerta natural, en un carro de hojas verdes, a morirme me lleva. Si quieres que de este mundo, lleva una memoria grande.
There's even patriotic poetry at this gig, and the onlookers are huge. There's absolutely everyone in Trinidad except for my 2 French buddies who couldn't make it today, I'm afraid. But I think I'm going to leave them here and go back to bed. Today is the birthday of Jose Marti, who's a national hero here in Cuba. He was killed in the Second War of Independence against Spain in 1895 in a suicidal charge towards Spanish lines, which has promptly made him a martyr, and every Cuban government has celebrated his birthday since, even the Batista regime that Fidel Castro replaced. And yeah, it was just a pretty powerful moment. And I came back home hoping to sleep, failed because there was just so much on my mind. So instead I had breakfast, pancakes, eggs, and fruit and coffee. And then I was just struck by all this stuff going through my mind, thinking about like Jose Marti, the giant statue of him that you can see in the Plaza de la Revolucion, and just the genius of the Castro regime's like adoption of old symbols. And so prepare yourself for some free-for-all political ramblings. But here we go. I was here at the table, and I had all these thoughts, and I was like, shit, I better write these down. And instead of doing that, I was like, oh, if you've got a podcast, you narcissist, you can just grab your mic and like just spit them out to the world. So here it goes. Like, there's so much symbology here in Cuba, and the government is so good at curating the different components of the individuals that they sort of elevate to the like position of a national hero. And in like continuing the myth of Jose Marti, sure, he secured Cuba's independence and everything, and abolished slavery, but in like maintaining him as a figure, they didn't go through all the messy cultural revolution that the Chinese did. They learnt from that, and instead they decided to adopt those old figures and like use them for their own advantages. And it's meant that like the Cubans are so content with the current situation. Like, they have complete confidence that this regime, which adopts their national symbols, the flag, Jose Marti, that this regime has the capacity to carry them forward. And with the Wi-Fi spots and everything there, everything was just coming together in my mind, and I thought I might as well put it out there. But yeah, so that's that, Jose Marti. And I was buggered after last night, and so I think I might leave you with a couple of the recipes of the drinks I was having last night. So there's everything you would imagine here in terms of cocktails in Cuba. Pina colada, mojito, but everyone knows those ones. The two signature drinks that I was drinking last night are the Cuba Libre, which is shot of rum, a shot of sort of lime juice, and then Coca-Cola. And then the other one is called the Canchanchara. That's can, chan, chakara. It's just amazing. So what it is like a little bit of honey at the bottom of your glass, which is then mixed with a tiny bit of lemon juice. And then you add a shot of rum on top of that, and ice, and a little drop of water. And you mix it all up, and it has this beautiful honey coloration throughout the whole like vessel, and it's just the tastiest thing. And it's better than any Red Bull having shots of honey running through you all night. And so it meant that I could go till 5 in the morning. Anyway, so there you have it, from profound political thoughts to cocktail recipes. And I hope this continues to be the essence of this podcast into the future. Well, from there, we were off right up into the guts of Cuba, and Trinidad, knowing this, gave us one last show of emotion.
Santa Clara se despierta para verte. Aquí se queda la clara, la entrañable transparencia de tu querida presencia, comandante Che Guevara.
I'm looking at the mangled remains of a train that is Che Guevara's most well-known act of war during the revolution. in the 28th of December in 1958. While his buddies were down in the south of Cuba, where I'm headed now, Che Guevara, as a newly anointed commander, had the tough task of taking the center of Cuba. And he came through Santo Espiritu, which is just 60k south of where I am now in Santa Clara. And in Santa Clara he had his greatest victory, which involved stopping a train full of Batista forces, the Batista's forces, with a bulldozer and a couple of Molotov cocktails. And in doing so, they stopped 2 locomotives with 18 carriages and 408 Batista military men from attacking their brothers in the south. So this is the moment and the place where Che Guevara made himself a national hero. And we've just been at I've forgotten the word in English. I've been speaking far too much Spanish. His monument. We've just been at his monument, which is on the other side of Santa Clara. This whole town is Che Guevara crazy. And there is his body and that of 38 others which died with him in Bolivia in 1967, which I'm sure we will get around to visiting. So yeah, that's Santa Clara. We're moving on. We're going south to Santiago now. We find ourselves on one of the hourly lanchas, essentially Santiago de la Cuba's ferry system out to an island off the coast and then to a 15th century castle. Basically, Santiago is Cuba's second city, and the only city in the world that I can compare it to is to San Francisco, because around Santiago it's entirely surrounded by Cuba's largest mountain range, the Sierra Maestra. And that gives Santiago a unique quality in that it's got those steep, undulating streets that you would associate with San Francisco. But it's been the most hectic city. We've been here for just the weekend, and the people have been in your face. It's bustling, it's busy, everyone's been just out and about, and it's completely a different vibe to any other place in Cuba that we have known so far. And I think we actually prefer the tranquility of the Trinidad's, and even Havana is comparably tranquil to Santiago de la Cuba. Boom! That was the cannon of the Morro de Santiago, which is a veritable castle mounted up here on the cliff tops overlooking Santiago Harbour. And for me, it is the most exciting place I've been so far, because it is like 12 meter high, like sandstone walls, and it's a proper fort, and it's got cannons mounted everywhere, and we're just overlooking the greatest sunset that will just sink straight into the ocean in front of us. And beneath us is the Caribbean Sea, which would have been crawling with pirates and stuff back in the 1600s when this thing was finished. And yeah, it's just magnificent. It's down there, like 100 meters below us, down on the cliffs. I have no idea if you can hear that over the wind, but this place is just magical. Welcome to Gitmo. We just had a very underwhelming morning in Guantanamo, a small town. But right now we are at the top of a hill overlooking the naval base, which is about 33 k's to the south of us, right at the very southern tip of the opening of Guantanamo Bay. And aside from the many alleged travesties against humankind, the Americans have also opened the most potent symbol of capitalism in Cuba by hosting Cuba's one and only McDonald's inside the naval base there at the southern point of Guantanamo Bay. So that's that segment of the show over. But coming up next is the best bit. This is where you guys get to know the people I've been travelling with. And I've been privileged enough this week to be travelling with two fantastic French blokes. But I'll let them speak for themselves. Do you guys want to say your names so we know who we've got? We've got
Theo and Max.
These are the French guys that we've been traveling with, and we've had a pretty fucking great week, I reckon. Like, we're gonna have to tone down the English. Yeah, no, it's very strange for us to speak English because we've been speaking Spanish the whole time that we've been here. Like, Max, how do you feel that your Spanish is going?
Good, very good.
Hey, you can make like sentences and all sorts of things at the moment. It's been fine. Yeah, but Teo is the linguistic master behind the group. He holds everything together. Max speaks French fine, and Teo speaks Spanish and English and French
And Russian.
and Russian as well. Why?
Russian.
Alright, well, give us an idea of, like, your backgrounds then. Like, what have you done before you came to Cuba?
To Cuba. Before we came to Cuba.
Yeah, what were you doing? Were you
yeah.
students or working?
Well, we were studying a little, but we worked a lot to be able to travel. But well, I have studying periodism, so I will prefer to be fine, to be better in this graduation. But well, in English it's quite difficult for me, and well, I don't know what I have to say. That travel is wonderful with the crazy man and his crazy imagination, and well, I hope we will meet him in another places in Vinales or in South America later. Well, it will be fine.
Yeah, we've already done 1 week together, and we're hoping to do like another in the north of Cuba there in Vinales. But I don't know. How Max? How have you felt about Cuba as a country? What do you?
Cuba, it's very nice, it's very wonderful. I like Cuba.
You like Cuba? I'm loving hearing these full sentences from Max. They're perfect.
And I love Canchanchara.
Yeah, no, we're sitting around the table here with like canchancharas with honey that I bought for like less than $1 on the side of the road, and Cuban cigars. So this was like our most classic night yet, I reckon. It's definitely. And Santa Clara, what did you feel about Santa Clara?
Well, Santa Clara is really it's a bad city, but well, I felt so much historical responsibility in my heart when. Yeah, with the memorial of Che Guevara, and well, it was so nice to learn about it, but I don't know.
Yeah. So what do you like the Che Guevara memorial and all that? Santa Clara was the only place in Cuba that we really felt like unsafe.
Yeah, well, yeah, Santa Clara is not really friendly for touristic people, even if there were a lot in Santa Clara's place in memorial of the Che, but well, when we went to Santiago, it wasn't friendly too, and I don't know, I haven't felt really good in that town, and well, I don't know if it's because there were no parties, but well,
yeah. we tried to go out one night in Santiago, but we were wandering around for like an hour and a half in an empty city, and all the parties we found were ending as we arrived, and it was our only failure of a night. Tonight though, we're celebrating because we just had a fantastic freaking day in Baracoa though. Like,
Yeah, Baracoa is wonderful. There is not a lot of people, but you feel that the atmosphere is pretty better than Santiago and than the other cities we visit.
yeah, it's definitely way more chill. Yeah, it's Bob Marley country.
Yeah.
If we stood on the roof of our terrace, I reckon we could see Haiti, like 200 k's offshore from here. It's that close. Really, we are a lot more smooth in Spanish. I can assure you of this. I am forcing these blokes to speak English right now, and they're doing a good job.
It would be better if you can speak in Spanish, yeah.
I don't know. Our one good day in Santiago was the day where we like caught the boat out to Cayo de la Moro.
Yeah, and to Gayo Grandma.
Mm.
No, I don't know how to say it in English.
Cayo Grandma.
Cayo Grandma.
Grandma Island.
Grandma Island.
It sounds even creepier when it's Grandma Island, but yeah.
There are only 2 restaurants, but well, we have found one of them, and that was wonderful. We have hit 2 fish for only 6 cook each, and well, it was really wonderful. No,
It was excellent, yeah. And then from there we went up to the Moro, where these guys very nicely did a reenactment of the cannon shot for us because I missed it. We knew it was at like what 6:15
yeah,
at night,
I know.
something like that, and I had the mic ready and everything, and then we heard the bell go ding ding, and I was fucking around with the mic, and we missed the shot. It was
But that was like boom.
Boom.
followed by a fuck. I missed it. I'm sure these guys are sick of me like pulling out my mic whenever it's required. But that night was even better than the day, I reckon, because we met that awesome bloke who cooked us like our best meal of the day, I reckon. The fish were good,
Yeah.
but then that night with the dude, he was a fantastic chef.
Yeah,
Meat
meat in sauce, which was wonderful. I don't remember his name now.
But it was pork and sauce, and he was like the typical Cuban in that like he had a background in astronomy and physics, and now was a cook. Like, how many of those have you guys met in your time in Cuba?
And then we have had a class of history and religion and philosophy and well, a lot of things, politics and
Yeah, no, we spoke to him for like 2 straight hours about pretty much every deep topic you can imagine possible. I know, he had this, I don't know, it seemed to me like it was almost like a voodoo-esque version of like, of Christian religion, because he rejected Christ and the other prophets as like symbols of religion, but kept the good and bad parts. Like,
yeah, that's a Cuban way of life, I think. Yeah, it's a philosophical religion, really. Well, I don't know how to explain it in English.
I don't know. Yeah, he had a lot of symbology. Like he had like the river on his wall with all the flows of energy. There was this bloke that sort of informed his view of the world with science, but it was still a religiously based view of the world. It was very strange.
Yeah, real strange, but thanks to him now I don't feel dead, because I'm sure that when I will die, I will give my energy to the
Planet.
To the planet.
to the
Yeah.
planet, to the universe, and so I'm very glad for him for that.
But how you guys felt about Cuba overall, like as a whole country? Where do you think it's?
Well, we don't thought about it before we came, and so it's more close than we thought. And I don't know, I think it's really difficult to live there for the Cuban people because I don't know, socialism. It's more, I don't know, not a dictator, but there is really more authority than we thought. And so even for us, the tourists, and I don't know, there are a lot of injustice and that sort of thing. Well, you can't ignore it. So
Certainly. Even the little things like to buy an internet card for $3 for an hour of internet, it's what, like you have to show your passport and go through all this rigmarole just to get an hour of shittiest Wi-Fi. You were like,
people are crazy in the shop, really.
oh my god. No, we've met some really crazy Cubans this last week as well. Like,
Papito, like
Papito.
Papito. You need to talk.
Tell me about Papito.
No, I wouldn't find the world. You need to talk about Papito, really.
Papito helped us. Look, he did help us. I like Papito. He helped us. So we're in Santiago, which is like 240 k's from where we are now in Baracoa, and we decided to go the long way via Guantanamo, which worked out really well. So we like traveled with Cubans in a camion. In a jeep, yeah. From Santiago to Guantanamo. And then from Guantanamo, we just like met up with Papito, who was this singularly like aggressive bloke that would like grab you by the shirt and go, "I'm here to help you. Let me help you. Let me take you to places." And
we have waited some 4 hours.
Oh my god.
For his bus.
But once the bus came, like, they were a bunch of tour guides just going back to Baracoa, where the majority of tourists are, and they couldn't help but be tour guides the whole way. They like stopped at like lookouts along the way and helped us get to know the place. We went along that fantastic what was it called, Viaductos del Farol, which is Cuba's engineering feat of the 1970s, 1972 to 1973, Viaducto del Farol, this undulating and beautiful highway that they've made throughout the mountains there.
Where you can die in every...
On every corner you can die.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it wasn't much of an engineering feat. And pretty much they just laid a bunch of concrete over some mountains and were like...
But well, Matt, I've been able to find honey in that place, so that was a good day.
Yeah, and we've been enjoying the honey. There's only half a bottle left, and it's less than 24 hours since I bought the thing. So we've thoroughly enjoyed the honey. It's gone in our canchancharas, which we've been drinking all night, and in our bread this morning. And we'll probably finish the bottle by breakfast tomorrow morning.
Banana and...
With banana and everything. Yeah. I don't know. Should we tell them about my genius recipe?
Yeah, I think you should.
So today I had some time to myself, and I thought I would make I had some bananas, I had some peanut butter, and I had some honey, and I thought I might as well blend all three. And so if you've got your bananas at the ready, I would grab a knife, halve your banana, scoop out the middle of the banana, and in one half put peanut butter. Dick Smith's peanut butter, because you wouldn't want to have a phallic object like a banana not being associated with a name like Dick Smith. So Dick Smith's peanut butter in one half, and then honey in the other half, and then you put the banana back together and eat it, and it is just the most perfect little treat. I've been eating them all day. It's just fantastic. So good. Well, looking forward then, like what do you guys think? Like we went to Santa Clara and we saw Che Guevara and all that. Like what do you think of Cuba's propaganda and the way it uses the different characters of its history?
What I think about it? Well, I'm not sure I'm not sure I know what is truth and what is wrong about what it say about their history, really.
Yeah.
But if you heard Cuban people, you can. Well, I'm sure I could tell like 100 different stories about Cuba, and well,
I'm sure.
I don't know. The they are
Exaggerating certain aspects.
all the time, and well, but that's a part of their history, really, and that's nice. That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah. What did you think of that idea of mine that we talked about all this sort of stuff during the week, but like how they keep different parts of of people in separate little groups. So Che Guevara represents the internationalism of socialism and like good leadership and all that, and Jose Marti represents like freedom and liberty from slavery, and each historical figure has their own little silo.
And Jose Marti represents the literature and the philosophy and all of that. Well, I think that it's for that every Cuban people should recognize in one person, and to keep the socialism with, I don't know, with heads
Yeah,
to lead the people, I don't know, in every part of the life. I don't know how to explain
What do you
it.
think they're going to do with Fidel when Fidel goes?
Ah,
What's Fidel gonna represent?
Fidel gonna represent the end of socialism, I think, really, because he has become crazy on the end of his life, and I don't know, in his relationships with the world, he has been too close-minded, and well, when Cuban peoples wanted more, well, how to say it, more food and more money and more freedom, Fidel has kept it for himself. And so I think that now with Raúl, his brother, Cuba will be able, not able, but
Better positioned.
in a better position, yeah, to be open to the world. And I think that's a way that they could not evitar.
Avoid. Yeah.
They could not avoid now, and that's why Cuban people want, I'm sure, even if they are proud of their revolution and of their culture, but it's a strong people. I'm sure that they can open to the world without lose their traditions and all that,
Their culture
their
and
money,
that.
their culture.
So what's the most interesting like perspective you've seen from a Cuban person on the changes that are going to happen here in Cuba?
On the changes, well, I haven't found anything interesting in the changes, because it's gonna be similar to all the rest of the world. What I think it's really interesting, it's the singularity and the Cuban singularity, and I'm sure that they are going to create their own globalization, their own
Certainly.
globalization, and well, I'm sure that Cuba will always be Cuba because of their people, because they're really proud of what they do and of what they are, and anybody could tell us what to do, and could keep robar,
No one can steal that from them.
yeah, and
Yeah.
no one could steal their freedom, and so they have a lot of imagination, and so I think they are going to create their own world when they will have freedom,
Yeah.
really.
There's only... I'm just having some canchanchara. There's only... There's only really like one more thing I'd love to talk to you guys about, and that's like the fact that they don't have a lot of internet, but it's all the connections that they make between themselves that makes getting around Cuba so easy.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
you guys have really introduced me to that idea.
Yeah, really. It seems to me that when you meet one Cuban in the west of Cuba, he can tell you about all the people in east of Cuba. Everybody knows everybody here, even if there are like I don't know how many habitants are in Cuba.
2,000, yeah. Oh, there's
2,000
11 million Cubans.
11 million in Cubans, but all our friends, all Cubans are friends, and all Cubans know know all the Cubans really.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of connections, and when you go from one city to another, every time one Cuban could recommend you one, I don't know, one house to sleep, and or one taxi to take, or one, I don't know,
Food to eat.
one food to eat, one thing to visit, there are always that thing. And even if they have not internet, they knew a lot of things about the world and about the politics of France and Europe, and about South America. They are really open to the world, and they have a different way to see the world. But to understand it, you need to speak Spanish, really.
Really? Yeah, don't bother coming to Cuba if you don't speak Spanish. It would be bloody hard.
Yes.
It would really
It's really impossible.
Yeah. No, it's amazing how people without any political rights are so politically, like, open.
Yeah, really. But I think that every Cuban is a politic. Yeah, because even if they are not free, they are making their own politics in every
In every town,
in every town,
suburb.
in every corner of town. You can find different ways to live, different way to do the things, and to make comercio, to make
Like business and
to make business, to make well, I don't know, they are organizing themselves as they can, and well, it's way good for them, because you will never see a Cuban which is not happy for his condition, and which is not smiling, and which is not, I know, which is not really interested
so
and
true.
invested in his town life, really.
Yeah. They might not have a superficial connection like an internet, but they do have a social connection.
Yeah, a real social connection, and really connection, not as the connections that we have in all the rest of the world, which I think are superficial. They are really in the, well, I don't know, they really share life.
I reckon I've got a name for it.
Huh?
A social network.
Social network. But
How's
the
that
real
sound?
social network.
But a real social network.
A real social network. Well, Cuban people are really nice, and I think that it's a country where I felt more insecurity in the world, because Cuban people really wants to know about you, and to help you, and to share with you all that you know, all that they know. And well, that's a good thing, because you can spend 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 day, 2 days with a Cuban guy, and you will never be
Bored.
You will never be bored, because he will always have things to talk to you. So, well, that's
Especially
wonderful.
if you're with Papito.
Especially if you're with Papito.
You won't be bored with
But
Papito.
Papito will tell you 5 times the same thing.
Papito really didn't have a lot of trust in these guys' like ability to speak Spanish, so he would say the same thing 5 times over, and it pissed them off so much.
And then he will drink a beer.
Oh yeah, the drunker he got on the way here to Baracoa, the better he became. He became quieter and a little more tranquilo. It was
Tranquilo.
yeah, it was lovely. Yeah, I liked Papito by the end of that ride in the car. It was good. So what are you guys going to do next?
Well, I think that we are going to visit some other islands in the north of Cuba, and then we are going to Costa Rica for more than a month. And well, I hope that we could find you in Costa Rica if you have the time. And
If I'm there in time,
yeah,
more
if you're in
likely than
time.
if I have the time. I definitely have the time,
Yeah,
but I've got a few
If you are
countries to
in
do
time.
before that.
but well, I'm sure that we will meet in South America in the end of the year.
Yeah,
So
certainly. Well, before you head off, tell me about Kaijo Coco. Why is this such a dream for you guys. It's
Yeah.
an island on the north of Cuba.
Yeah, just because there is a road like about 26 kilometers on the sea, and that's a proof on the ingenuity of Cuba, too. And well, I'm not sure that I'm gonna be alive after this road, but I really like to do it.
Yeah. They're gonna ride motorcycles down the road, and Max already has a giant like scar on his knee from motorcycling, but
Because of
he's
this hopping nail.
unperturbed. He's unperturbed. He's, yeah.
He threatened us with his hoppy nail.
No, it's been thoroughly enjoyable traveling with you guys, because I've seen so much like more of France through you guys, like from knives. Like we have an Opinel blade with us, which I didn't know was a thing before I traveled with you guys,
That's a part of us.
and we listen to like vintage French songs all the time. So no, it's really been enjoyable, and I thoroughly look forward to meeting up with you guys in Vinales. Well, let's call it quits. Well done, guys. We made it to the end. Well, that's it for another week, and a huge thanks again to those guys for being such fantastic company. The way you can help out the show if you like it is to leave a star rating and review in iTunes, and that will help us find a bigger audience. But apart from that, make sure you stay in contact through all means necessary, but mainly Facebook. That's just type in Cuba to Rio at Facebook into Google, and you'll find it that way. And if you have any suggestions or like to comment on the show, send them through to cubatorio@gmail.com. I really enjoy putting this together, so there is definitely going to be more to come. See you next time.